there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. The other day I showed you these earrings in my crafting on clear acrylic 101 video, and I did have some requests on how to make these, so I thought I'd show you today. Now these right here I made with the leftovers from one of the flat tiles here that I used to make one of the rings out of clear acrylics. These are all by Punch Place Plus if you're looking for them, and so you know, you really do not have to waste a scrap here. You can keep using them for other pieces of jewelry. Super fun. And this is the earring we're going to make today. Alright, and you can use whatever beads you want, mix it up, make it however you like it. These remind me of like a Alexander Calder mural from, or mobile from the 80s. It just has that kind of wonderful pop art look to it that I love. Okay, so what you want to do is cut your wire, cut both pieces of wire at the same time for your earrings. These are kind of long and dangly, so I use 6-inch pieces of artistic wire. This is 26 gauge, really fine stuff. I'm going to fold it in half so I can find my midpoint. And then I am going to put my tile that I colored with alcohol ink. Remember, I showed you how to punch and color these in the acrylic crafting with acrylic shapes 101 video. And I'm just going to pull it down to the bottom of my bend in my wire, and I'm just going to give it a few twists because I want to keep those wires together while I'm working. And I can, you know, make it so I can make sure that this can spin in that area, which just adds a little fun and movement, and I like it. Alright, so I've decided to use this teeny tiny seed bead here. Your I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's kind of like a metallic turquoise color. Hopefully I can see it to put it on the wire and you can see it while I'm doing it. And yep, it went on there, slid all the way down to the first twist. That's what I want. Then I have this E bead, which is like kind of like a teal color, and that's going on next. And now I have this lovely kind of oblong bead there. It's kind of like a milky teal aqua color, very pretty. And then finally I've got a little tiny cat's eye green bead. And that's going right on top. Alright, so the last simple beaded earring video I did, I had some people worried that, because I was using a simple loop. Well, I think the fact with the security of your earrings, if your head pins, we're working on very fine wire here. If your head pins are like an 18 gauge or 20 gauge or 22 gauge, in that family, I think a simple loop is fine. This is really thin wire, so we definitely need to do a wrapped loop here. So I bent it and I wrapped it around my pliers, and now I'm going to wrap it all the way around. So this is at the point where it'd be a simple loop. Can you see that? There we go. So now what I'm going to do is put my pliers in here, hold it tight, and wrap these tails around a few times, giving us a wrapped loop and a very secure connection. The fact that we've got a double width of wire up here should not give us any problems coming loose from our ear wire. Some people said that when they're using jump rings, they run into the same problem with stuff like slipping out. And again, I think it's a problem with the gauge of your jump rings, not the size of your jump rings. Like when you're buying a 6mm or an 8mm jump ring, not that. It's the gauge of the wire the jump rings are made from. If you have a tiny gauge like a 26 gauge or 24 gauge jump ring, chances are they're going to slip out of the openings from the previous jump ring or hook that you hooked it to. So try to go with a larger gauge that's comfortable enough for you to bend, but it's going to be a lot more secure. Or you can use split rings, which are kind of like tiny little keychain type rings. So now to hook that to an earring finding, I am going to grab the open edge of my ear hook, and I'm just going to twist to open it, and I'm going to slide that loop, which is 2 loops of wire on there, and I'm going to close it. Okay, so even if something happened and that got up there around that opening, there's 2 layers of wire there, so I don't think it's going to come through. But I just wanted to address that because a few people had asked me why I didn't use a wrap loop in the other one, and it was simply because the gauge of my head pin was thicker, that I didn't worry that it was going to come off of my ear wire. So those are the earrings that I just showed you, but feel free to use different colors of alcohol inks to dye your tiles different colors and really have fun with it. I mean, it's really, when you have a clear product like that, the sky's the limits to what you want to do with it. I think these are just adorable. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, but the best way to learn how to do something is just to jump in and try it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.